Grade 11, Lesson 3, Connect to a Database for SQL. Good day everybody, welcome back to the third lesson of Grade 11 Databases. We will look at how to connect a database for SQL. Let's begin. The contents of this video. We will look at the needed components, for example, the data module, the TADO connection, the TADO query, and the data source. We will then look at an example. The data module. This form will encapsulate all the components. We will use the naming convention of DM for the data module. The TADO connection. This will be the connection between the Delphi program and the database. Important, remember to untick the login prompt. This is due to Delphi having a built-in login interface for the database, but it is tiresome to try and get it to work perfectly. We will use the naming convention of conDB for the TADO connection, where con being connection, DB being database. The TADO query. This will be the object through which the SQL query will be executed. You only need one TADO query. The T-data source. This will be used to store the result from the SQL query. We only need one T-data source for the single TADO query. Example will follow. Okay everybody, here's our examples. So first what we need is the data module, so we'll go File, Other. Then we need the data module, we'll say okay. Just make this a tad bit bigger. First things first, let's rename it to DM. Then what we need is a TADO connection. Call it conDB. Then we need the TADO query. We call that query DB. Lastly, we need the data source. Call it DB. Let's just get them all under each other. Okay, so firstly, let's get rid of the login prompt property. We put that as off. Now let's build the connection string. We select connection string. We say build. Now it depends on your preference and your school's preference, but we will, for these examples, we will use Jet4 for our provider. We'll go next. Select the database name, as will be that one. We say open. Then we say test connection. Connection is successful. We say okay. Then we copy this whole string it built in here for us. Cancel. Now on your data modules, on create event, we say conDB dot connection string. Now we need to make, as we copied that path, that string, the path is fixed. We need to make it relative so it can work on any computer. So from your database name, which is over here, this is our database name. We delete everything before that slash. And let's just make a bit more space for ourselves. Too far. There we go. To there, and then we just add a dot to say it's there. Again, as with the non-SQL connection, please ensure that your database is in the 2002 to 2003 format and it's got the extension .mdb. Okay, so next that we need to do is we need to link everything with each other. So we'll say conDB, set up, query DB, we'll go to connection, so conDB, dataset, query DB. That's all you need to do to set up your data module for SQL. So now let's save it, file, save all, we'll call it data module, save. Then what we do is now we need to include it in our main form. So we'll go in our main form, we go to File, Use Unit, Data Module, choose where you want to add it, we say OK, and then it has linked your data module and our program with each other so that the program can actually start using SQL. And that's all.